Greetings. Welcome to Everyday Emotional Vocabulary from Think and Be Well. Every week, I name an emotional state many people experience but rarely have language for. And that's not to fix anything, it's just to recognize it. And last week, we talked about completion. After something is complete, the system doesn't immediately move on. It needs a different kind of pause. Not to decide what's next, but to come out of what has already been required. And that's settling. Settling is the emotional experience of the system deliberately reducing activation after a cycle has ended. And physiologically, it draws our attention inward so that we can downshift after we recognize that something is complete. It's the pause that allows our body and our attention to recalibrate before we set a new direction or a new meaning, or we start to move in a new direction. And this is not settling for less. It's creating the conditions for more to become possible. And you might feel that as you notice that settling is when you no longer feel compelled to stay alert. Your breath deepens without effort. Your muscles stop holding tension, that bracing that has become familiar, and your posture changes, which is not from fatigue but from relief. And your attention isn't searching for the next thing that's requiring and setting demands on you. And you're not scanning the environment for what needs to be handled or anticipated. For people who have spent extended time in responsibility, like caregivers, leaders who have to always respond and adapt, this pause feels unfamiliar and it might even feel unsafe. But there's no immediate replacement for what just ended. There's that space that doesn't feel empty. It's just a space to pause and breathe. And completion tells the story that the cycle is over, but settling allows the system to stand down from readiness, to relax. Without settling, the nervous system remains partially activated, even when it appears to be at rest. And that lingering activation limits what can come next. It narrows our perception, it constrains our capacity, and it morphs new experiences into old patterns, into more of the same. Settling is what allows energy to redistribute, to allow new possibility, and for effort to release fully. It also allows our attention to return inward without being overly vigilant. And this is a pause that's not passive. Something is happening because it's preparatory. It creates the room for new orientation, for insights, and new movement to arise from the current conditions, not from residual demand and information. So as you notice this state, consider what no longer needs my readiness right now. Again, no action required, because settling doesn't reduce what's possible. It restores the capacity for what comes next. If you enjoyed this word, please like, subscribe, and share. That helps the channel grow. And this is the last weekly emotional vocabulary word for the year. And there's nothing more to do or resolve or prepare for right now in January. Use this moment to pause. And in the coming weeks, we'll begin a new arc, one that looks at how awareness forms before direction and how movement becomes possible without force. But that comes later. So for now, let this settling do its work. The next cycle, doesn't need your readiness yet. We'll begin again in January. Until the next time, continue to shift the paradigm of your perspective.